Okay, first I'm going to take a piece of tracing paper that I use to cut the shape that I would like the headboard to be. The black line to your right is the length of the headboard. I'm going to cut off the excess of the plywood. From there, I'm going to trace the template that I've made to leave the markings of the shape of the headboard. I'm going to do it on one side, then I'm going to flip it and do it on the other side, and this is what you end up with. Now it's time to decide how big you want your diamonds to be. Mine is 10 inches top to bottom, 7 inches side to side. Those horizontal lines that you see going across is going to be 5 inches apart. Now that I have all my markings, I'm going to go ahead and cut the shape of the headboard. And once I cut the shape of the headboard, I'm going to drill my markings from the holes for the shape of the diamonds where my crystal buttons will go through. Now it's time to add my foam. I had to use 2 rows of foam. I put it both on top of the plywood. Then I'm going to tack it down with some upholstery adhesive. Once I tack it down on the plywood, make sure that it's tacked down to each other where the seam is. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess foam at the top of the headboard to mimic the shape of the plywood. Here you will see me add some extra adhesive where the 2 pieces of foam meet, so that way when you put everything together and start pulling your fabric, it doesn't pull apart. Now it's time to make your markings. The holes that you drilled in the bottom, you would take your double-sided needle, poke from the bottom to the top, and mark where the needle comes poked through the top at. Now after you have made off your markings, I took an Exacto knife to cut holes around where I poked the hole at with the needle and mark, so that you can cut out a hole and pull it out. I tried using my drill, but it didn't work because I didn't have the right drill bit, so this was the next best option for me. Once you have cut all the holes, go ahead and pull out the foam, so that way you will have a nice hole where all those dots are. Time to add your bedding. Now take out your bedding, unroll it, and lay it across the headboard. Make sure you leave some extra hanging over the side, so that way when you pull your fabric over, you don't have any hard edges. Now once your bedding is all laid out, take some scissors and just cut some slits right where those holes you made previously are. Now that the bedding step is complete, go ahead and lay out your fabric. once the fabric is laid out, I go ahead and put in my first row of buttons. Mine are a crystal diamond button that I bought, I believe, off eBay. So before I pull and staple down anything, I'm going to do that first row. Just put all the buttons in, and once I put all the buttons in, I will then go back and pull from the middle. Then I will alternate from side to side, so that way I have a nice even flow. Oh yeah, before starting this step, I did go ahead and pre-string my buttons, so that way I didn't have to do it as I went along. That way I just grabbed and stuck it right through the needle. Yeah, some of the strings got tangled, but it was still much quicker than stringing as I went along. Now on this step, you can see that I have also went ahead and completed my first row, but I'm on the second row, and you will see how I went about doing the same thing that I did in the first row, but you will actually see me pull the buttons in this row. Once I complete this row, I will go back and do the row up under the first row and do the exact same thing. As I pull the buttons and lock them into place, I'm stapling in a zigzag pattern up under the bottom. So you go up, staple 2 times, pull your string down, staple 2 more times, pull your string back up and staple another 2 times. And as I do that, you will see me come up and kind of play with the pleats. All your pleats should always be pointing downwards. Here are the buttons all finished. You may notice there's a seam going down the middle of my fabric, of my headboard but what I didn't mention is that my fabric was not long enough, so I ended up having to put 2 pieces of fabric together long ways to make the length long enough for the headboard. Now I am going to start cleaning up my edges and stapling underneath. Remember to keep those pleats pointed downwards. You will see me here messing with the first pleat and making sure that it's pointing downward, so that way once you set up your headboard, no dust collects in those creases. This is my little helper, my nephew. He wanted to use the staple gun so bad, but he couldn't put down the ice cream long enough to even get any work done with me. Okay guys, now it's time to turn it around and cut off that extra fabric and batting that's in the back and add extra staples where needed. Now I did make it look like it was pretty easy turning around, but trust me, this baby was kind of heavy. Now add your dust cover, and what I didn't film was me adding the legs to the headboard, but this is the finished product. I did make a complete bed, which you follow the same steps to do the foot rail and the side rails, and add some bread brackets to put them all together. Thank you for watching. Bye.